According to an article written by Elizabeth Hoyt, a recent study conducted by Nerd Scholar, the higher education team at NerdWallet, high school graduates in the U.S. left more than $2.9 billion in free federal grant money unused over the last academic year. Why do you think so? There is one reason. FAFSAs are not being completed. According to Nerd Scholar's findings, 47% of all 2013 high school graduates didn't even complete the FAFSA. In addition to federal grant money, there are scholarships and state grants that are not being used. Why? Because FAFSAs are not being completed in time. Also, according to the National Center of Educational Statistics in 2012-13, the average student loan amount of $7,000 represented a 39% increase over the 2001 amount of $5,100. And of the 4.7 million students who entered the repayment phase on their student loans in fiscal year 2011, some 651,000 of them defaulted before the end of the fiscal year 2013. As I've stated previously, I spent many years in the financial aid office. I can name so many different scenarios that negatively impact students because of the unclear decisions they are made. I've not only spent time as a financial aid officer, but I've sat on the other side of the desk just like you. As a matter of fact, it was just as recent as this past fall. So I completely get it. The billions of free dollars not being utilized and poor decisions made when borrowing student loans is a real problem in this country. This is apparent in the default rates reported annually. This is your first big investment, your first financial responsibility. You must be educated so that you make the right decisions, as these decisions can impact you either positively or negatively in the years to come. To begin, I would like to discuss with you the importance of completing your FAFSA timely, the importance of researching and applying scholarships, and the importance of responsible student loan borrowing. The need for money is clear when having to pay for education. Unfortunately, college tuition rates continue to rise according to the College Board. Between 2005, 2006, and 2015-16, published in-state tuition and fees at public four-year institutions increased at an average rate of 3.4% beyond inflation. According to Amanda Reume of Credit.com, in an article published in USA Today, tuition prices have gone up 4 times faster than the Consumer Price Index. Due to the continuous increases of college tuition, the problems of students have increased. You may ask how. According to Amanda Reume, advisors reported 70% of students borrow to go to college, and they take an average of $33,000 in student loans. These numbers mean that the total student loan debt in the United States has ballooned to $1.2 trillion, eclipsing the amount of credit card debt Americans hold. The importance of completing your FAFSA early on, as well as searching and applying for scholarships, is more important than you may realize. By receiving free money, whether it be from the federal government, state government, or private scholarship, it essentially can lower your student loan debt in the long term. Loan borrowing is almost always necessary, but with free money that is awarded, it can reduce your need to accept a higher loan amount. There are a few things I would like you to do today after walking out of here. First, do your 15-16 FAFSA if you haven't done so already. And on January 1st, complete the next year's FAFSA because it is available. It doesn't commit you to anything or mean that you're taking out a loan. It simply may qualify you to receive some form of student aid if you choose to accept it. To be eligible to receive Indiana State Grant, the state requires 3 things. First and most importantly, you must complete your FAFSA by the March 10th deadline. Secondly, the school that you are attending must be the first school listed on your FAFSA. And lastly, you must show financial need. I spoke about scholarships, and although it's not easy as just filling out a FAFSA, I want to stress the importance about the millions of dollars that are not being used each year. Some of the scholarships may require a 500-word essay, or simply applying or filling out an application. My point is that we tend to opt out of this because it takes a little more time to research. Please take the time to research and apply, because you never know. Lastly, don't take more loans than you actually need, so budget. Prior to starting school, list out all your monthly expenses, cut out the things that you don't need, and put it towards your education. It may be $50 or $100, and that may not sound like much, but $100 over 10-year span accrues a lot of interest that must be paid back. The benefits of receiving free money is a great thing, but reducing your student loans by what you receive in free money is even better. The benefit is clear: maximizing the amount of free money you can receive during your college career, and responsible loan borrowing can only leave you in a desirable position financially. There are a few things that will deem you as ineligible for student loans. One is falling into default. Defaulted student loans are a huge and damaging problem in this country, not only for individual students but for our economy. According to Allie Bidwell in an article from U.S. News, the rising amount of student loan debt can have a domino effect on society. Student loan borrowers are less likely to save for retirement, take out home loans or auto loans, and even start a business. I want to tell you a quick story about a student that I met years ago. It's typical for a financial aid advisor to pull financial aid history on a student prior to reviewing their eligibility. When I pulled a student's NSLDS report, it was discovered that she was in default on her student loans. That's not what was most shocking. What was shocking was the amount she was in default for. If you recall in our last discussion, a student may borrow up to $57,500 in a lifetime as an undergraduate student. This particular student was in debt for well over that amount. Why? She accumulated over $20,000 in interest. And the worst part about it all is that she never finished her undergrad. So she was left with over $57,000 in debt and had nothing to show for it. I see it every day, students already at their lifetime maximum, in default, and have no clue what is going on and what they've received so far. In closing, it's important to be diligent when taking on your first huge financial investment. Do your research. Don't just go through the steps. The information is out there. You just have to take the time and read and understand it. And if it's unclear, ask questions. Know your financial aid history. Today, I've talked to you with the importance about completing your FAFSA timely, researching scholarships, and the importance of responsible student loan borrowing. I'm asking that you complete your FAFSA today, research and apply for at least one scholarship, and be mindful when deciding how much of a student loan you really need in an academic year. Go back and review your current financial aid. Ask yourself, do I really need this loan? If you don't need it, don't take it. It's not too late to make changes to your spring financial aid. I've also passed out a pamphlet that will show all types of scholarship links that you can research, and also other types of things that you may be qualified for that is free money. I will leave you with this funny quote. Thank you, student loans, for getting me through college. I don't think I'll ever be able to repay you. Funny, yes, but sadly this is the reality for many Americans today. Don't make this your reality. Thank you all for listening today.